Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
Welcome back to DBL. Today we are looking back at the O.J. Simpson case 25 years later. Can you believe that? On this date in 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were found stabbed to death in Brentwood, California. O.J. Simpson was famously acquitted of the murders in the trial of the century. Today, Ron's sister Kim and father Fred spoke out on GMA. Kim talks about seeing O.J. and what she wished she had done to him. Watch.
A couple years after the verdict, I saw him walking across the parking lot, or what I believed was him. I was by myself in my car, and I revved the engine, and I gripped the steering wheel thinking I could take him out right here and nobody would know.
It never goes away. It's always there. The pain is always there. The loss is always there. It's hard for me to imagine that it's 25 years. Ron would be 50 now.
Wow, as a parent, I can't even imagine. I can only empathize, but that trial was such a circus. I mean, we later saw it played out on FX, and I thought that they captured it perfectly because it really became like almost like a pop culture phenomenon. And people were watching it almost, I can only somewhat similar, compare it to like the Jodi Arias trial, where we forgot about the victims. We forgot about the victims.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm complicit, too. I was infatuated with this case. When I look back to my childhood, I think of this case.
Right.
I think of this trial.
People drive by, if you're living in Los Angeles, you see tours driving by Nicole Brown Simpson's house.
I used to live down the street from there. Again, guilty. I used to do that. People would want to see that.
I don't blame you.
And it's just, I don't know what the infatuation is. It's like, it changed the course of history almost, because now the Jodi Arias, we wouldn't even know about who Jodi Arias was if it wasn't for this O.J. Simpson trial. But again, I'm still, to this day, I can't believe it's been 25 years, still kind of like, ooh, what are we going to talk about
And it really
now?
highlighted race relations at the time, just how volatile they were. And they exploited it and used it depending on which side of the defense or prosecution you were on.
Well, I mean, you have to understand that people created entire platforms. Without the O.J. Simpson case, there is no Kardashian empire. You really have to think about the pop culture significance. This was when we were all sitting around. I remember being in high school, passing the woodshop class, and people responding to the verdict all at the same time. We all watched it at the same time.
The stock market went down because even people right there in Wall Street stopped to watch the verdict. It's unbelievable. Before you chime in here, let me get this part in, Al. In her new podcast, Confronting O.J. Simpson, Kim Goldman talks to major players in the case, including lead prosecutor MARCIA Clark, whose appearance was scrutinized throughout the trial. This year, MARCIA executive produced The Fix, loosely based on the O.J. case. Co-prosecutor Christopher Darden became a defense attorney and at one point was going to represent rapper Nipsey Hussle's shooter, but pulled out after receiving death threats. Meanwhile, after serving 9 years in prison on unrelated robbery charges, 71-year-old O.J. Simpson is living the quiet life in his Las Vegas home. He wants to forget about the past. He told the Associated Press, quote, "We don't need to go back and relive the worst days of our lives. The subject of the moment is the subject I will never revisit again. My family and I have moved on to what we call the no negative zone." The two children he shared with Nicole, Sydney and Justin, live in Florida and work in real estate. His daughter Arnelle, from a previous marriage, lives with O.J. most of the time in Vegas. Johnny Cochran, part of the O.J.'s dream team of lawyers, died in 2005 from a brain tumor. Robert Kardashian passed away in 2003 from cancer. And Robert Shapiro, believe it or not, still practices law today. And O.J.'s friend KAELIN was living on O.J.'s property and was a witness for the prosecution. Most recently, he was on Celebrity Big Brother. Wow. In the years since taking the stand, Nicole's sister Denise is an advocate for victims of abuse. And Faye Resnick, one of Nicole's friends, regularly makes appearances on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So there you have it. You see KAELIN on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. You see Faye Resnick on the Beverly Hills Housewives. This case, again, people who got slaughtered, you see people become famous.
Made the careers of so many people. And I mean, Jeff, you're saying, like, I don't know why I'm so intrigued by this. I mean, this is what it is. Sex, money, and rich people will always draw eyeballs. And if you look at, do you think about this playing out like a real life movie? These people came from that movie and became stars from that movie. It's almost like spin-off characters that we're now dealing with in real life. And it's just really strange to see. But I don't think people really, I would bet you that every 5 people you ask don't know who Ron Goldman is, but they know who everybody else is, and that's amazing.
We have a memoriam planned, I believe. So if
he deserves it.
Yeah, we dedicate this segment to the victims, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. We'll be right back.